Good morning out there, combat patrollers. We have got our latest delivery. Now, as you hopefully are aware, my previous deliveries were out of sync, so I got issues 11 plus, and I didn't actually get issues 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now that's caught up. However, I still feel like I am 4 weeks behind everyone else, to be quite blunt about it, because I've seen some people already have the premium kit. My own fault. I was getting it later than everyone else. So, I put my order in because I was like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And then I decided that I have too much of a plastic crack addiction not to do it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with basically issues 7 and 8 because they are a dual edition with the Termagants. Now, I'll start off by looking at issue 7. If you have subscribed as well, you will be getting the Combat Patrol folders along with this. Now, personally, this is one of these things. You get these little dividers in it to kind of break up your collection into individual sections, which is, good. I personally found these dividers that came with the Stormbringer collection, though, were flimsy as hell. And I think what I'm going to have to do is, as I put things in here, I'm actually going to put hole supports on them so that there's less chance of them ripping. So we've got our basic folder. It shows us exactly what we're basically getting, which is a nice variety of different factions. Let's have a look then at issue number 7. So straight on the front, as we expect, because the theme is Tyranids and Ultramarines, that's exactly what we see on the front. For those of you who don't know what this is in white, it is, I'm pretty certain, is an apothecary. So their job is, if once a Space Marine is killed or seriously injured in battle and unrecoverable, they remove basically the gene seeds to create new Space Marines, basically, which I think one's in the throat. I think there was one in the throat and one in the abdomen. Now I think they removed the one in the abdomen when the Space Marine is younger and more, like, basically matured, and the second one upon death, which basically means they always guarantee at least one replacement Space Marine, but potentially 2. Basically, Space Marines do not breed like normal humans. they rely on normal humans to breed, and then they take a child and then torture the poor thing until it becomes a Space Marine. Okay, so we're going to have our Termagants and Ripper Swarms. I personally would have preferred Termagants because I think they're so much cooler, but I can't do anything about that. How to build? I've actually built some of these, but I haven't done a video yet. I've built some of these because I got the Space Marine 2 box, and I decided not to do a video on the build because I was waiting for these to come, which is why I kind of wanted Termagants in this, because you get Termagants in the box. Anyway, they are kind of a simple build. I found that they were actually quite quick and easy to build. We have a nice reading section on here. Now, there's no painting section on this one because we haven't got the full kit. So when it's a dual issue, they tend to do build in one, paint in the other one. So a bit about our Angels of Death. A bit of blurb about them. Nice shot of some veterans over here. I can't wait to paint up the librarian, but I'll get to that later. Anyway, a bit more reading about the hive mind, the Tyranid hive mind. Again, more stuff going on here. Now that's interesting. Space Marine librarian, but painted up for Space Wolves, effectively making him, I'm pretty certain, a rune priest. So that is the technical definition usually, anyway. You know, so there's really some cool stuff in this one. There's really great stuff to read up about. Loads to read actually. You've got like you know, it's like what looks like a story. It's fiction, bit of fiction. How to do movement and measuring. Which, you know, again, you know, understanding how range works. You get a ruler. Everything that Games Workshop tends to do is measured in inches. The only actual game that I immediately recall that was done in metric was Mordheim. I think Battlefleet Gothic might have been as well, and that was done in centimetres. But yeah, for the most part, the Imperium use Imperial, which is probably why their technology sucks. That doesn't suck, but you know what I mean. They haven't even discovered the STC for actual metric. That's how backwards they are. Anyway, so yeah, we got some great stuff. Play Walking the Swarm. Walking the Swarm, Waking the Storm. There's my fun and exciting dyslexia kicking in there. I'm not officially dyslexic, but I'm pretty much certain I am. You know, and how to run it and how to play it. Right, so that's issue 7. Having a quick look at issue 8. Again, part 2 of the Ripper Swarm, which we get the how to paint. I actually had a call off my niece who's getting into Warhammer, and she was actually saying she was getting this horrible streakiness here while she was painting her Tyranids up, and it explained about the need to thin the paint and do layer upon layer. And it got me thinking, and then I said, oh, and it's even better if you make a wet palette out of a bit of tissue paper. And it kind of reminded me that was how I actually had to do a wet palette years ago. Like literally, I'm not talking about years and years, like recent years ago, because I just didn't have a proper wet palette, but it worked. And I was like, oh, get a bit of tissue, make sure it's nice and dry. And then I got thinking, you know what? I should actually be doing that video. Because you know, I actually got told off about this when I said I'm not a pro painter recently, and someone turned around and said, yeah, but you're not an amateur painter either. And it's like, okay, yeah, fair enough, but I'm not a pro painter, so when I do painting videos, they're designed to be at my competency level, which is not anywhere near the standard of the pros out there. So I think I need to actually do, if I can, this video here, even if I find a model that I'm not really worried about painting using without a proper base coat and things like that. So to actually explain, because I know my niece watches my YouTube channel, see if I can show her that really. Okay, so you know, it's got this, you know, lovely process of how to base coat the Termagants. Now, as you all know, I'm doing a palette swap. So my Tyranids are the blue colour, and my Space Marines are the purple colour. Right, more reading to do. Again, learning all about the background of the hobby, learning about the Second Tyranic War. Again, it's always good to see alternative colour schemes. That is High Fleet Kraken. I think the poster is High Fleet Leviathan, is it? And I'm doing blue, which would make it High Fleet. Oh, I'd have to check that out. I'm sure it's an official High Fleet blue and white. Maybe a Splinter Fleet. Well, anyway, loads of reading to do anyway. So, more details about our Termagants. talking about how to charge and get into combat, and then there's an ambush scenario to do, which is quite cool. So yeah, we've got 2 nice issues there, chocked full of content, which is what we really want to see. We need good content at this stage to get us hooked into it. Right, what do these kits look like then? So this is very important to look at as well. And it's this wonderful thing here. These, okay, so these are our Termagants. So this is across all both issues, and you get bases, and you get enough for 10 Termagants, plus a Ripper Swarm, which are these little dudes here. As models, they're an upgrade over the old ones that we used to get. So the very old Termagant models were amazing. I mean, there is no other way to describe it. They were incredibly spot on. And actually, this here, it's actually only a minor improvement. It's just more about the fact that the skill level, the 3D modelling abilities, and the moulding process have improved to a point where they can just add those little bit of extra details. But you can still use the old Termagants next to these, and they're really cool. They work. They're not so far advanced, and they're not different either. Now, someone told me, I don't know if this is true because I don't have one to put next to it, that they're slightly smaller. And the decision was to make them slightly smaller so that they looked more like kind of you know, like, anyway, I don't know if that's true. I'll have to actually get these next to an older one to see if they are smaller, because they wanted to make the Space Marines look bigger. But I don't know. I think looking at them, my member berries say they're about the same size, so I don't know about that. I got no way of comparing them against each other right now. Okay. However, they have some really lovely details on them, and they're quite easy to build. They're push-fit models, so they go together quite fast. You should have 11 bases in total. 10 of these small ones for the Termagants, and a swarm base for the Rippers. So, we have got ourselves a lovely little set of issues there where we get some Termagants. Now, the big question is, could have that been a single issue? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I am putting my foot down about that. That did not need to be across 2 issues. And I think we get a second set of Termagants. So we then get another 2 issues that could have been 1 issue. As far as fitting it is concerned, that would have fit into a single issue. Which means that if we do get a duplicate set of miniatures later on, I just wish, if that's right, then I feel they should have put the Termagants in. But I think a lot of people like Termagants, so if you've got the Termagants, you will be obsessed then with getting those siding, basically the siding Talon close combat ones. So it's a bit of a a toss up there. The good thing is, because I will have all these extra Termagants, I might be able to paint one set up as a different hide fleet just for a bit of variety. Okay then, so that's issues number 7 and 8 done. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.